offensive categories that are amazing. But you actually had a pretty good arm, and we're probably top 3 in outfield assists in the Blue Jays overall. Do you think playing third base gave you a lot of opportunities to hone your accuracy and your craft as an outfielder?
I don't know. Maybe. I was an outfielder growing up. So it was kind of like going back to my natural position after I ended up back in the outfield when I came to Toronto. So I want to say like playing the infield was more of an experiment. I really don't know where that started, if it was based on an organizational need by the Pirates. But even in college, I was mostly outfield. I was pitching a little bit, but I didn't really play much infield until the Pirates wanted to see me there. So I don't really know if playing the infield helped me play in the outfield, but I would say just going back to my natural position definitely was something that was good for me.
You mentioned pitching, and there was read about the one game at college where you pitched a complete game, and of course your coaches weren't in favor of that because they were afraid you'd screw up your arm and all that.
Well, my coaches were my agent and the scout that had drafted me were, but.
Was pitching something that you aspired to, or you ever considered that as your direction?
Growing up, yes, but at the end of the day, I wanted to be a baseball player. So whatever position it was, I wasn't really setting any rules. And that's why I was so open to playing infield when the Pirates brought it up after being an outfielder all my life. So, I love pitching, but I was fine with being a hitter as well.
You've had a few months now to let this kind of sink in. Looking back on now and being here today, what does this mean to you?
It means a lot. It's a great honor. It's not many people that have the privilege to be considered, let alone get inducted. So I truly appreciate it. It was a great moment when I received the call, and I feel very, very proud and very honored.
When you were traded to Toronto in August 2008, did you know much about Toronto, or what were your expectations when you got traded to come to Toronto?
I know about the city and the country of Canada, for sure. I'll speak to that a little bit in my speech. So I don't want to give away too many secrets, but I didn't know as much as I learned. I'll leave it at that.
There's a great compilation online of all the times that you were thrown out and rejected. So that's a wonderful compilation and part of your history, of course. But it seemed like the umpire Welke just had a good for you. It seemed like every time you would have a confrontation with him, it didn't take much for him to throw up the finger. And you agree that he was the one that seemed to...
I don't even remember him. I mean, I remember of him as an umpire. I don't remember the fact that he used to throw me out. But I don't know. When you play with passion, sometimes you rub some people the wrong way, and it is what it is. I wouldn't change it.
No.
Jose, you played for your country a few times, Dominican Republic, but you also in the 2021 Olympics, Summer Olympics, won a bronze medal. What was your memories of being in the Olympics?
It was a different experience. I love playing for my country, of course, in WBC and in other competitions. And having a chance to go to the Olympics is not something that I was going to pass up on. As you guys know, at that point I had been retired for 2 years, almost 3. So it was I had to get a little bit of the rust off to get ready, but I enjoyed it. It was a shame that happened in the middle of COVID, and there was a lot of restrictions, and it was a closed village, so we did it with no fans, but it was a great experience nonetheless.
On a day like this where you're being honored, are there people that you're thinking of that kind of helps you get here? Yeah,
of course. Too many people to state by name, I guess, in this interview. Just like a similar answer earlier, I'll allude to some of them in my speech, but you think about your trajectory and all these people that were able to help you out for sure.
The bat flip's kind of the big moment that people remember when they think of you, but are there other lesser known moments that really stick out to you during your PJ tenure?
I mean, there are a few, 50th homer, there's definitely some that I can point to, but at the end of the day, there was a lot of days in the summer where you're just grinding and playing through the games. Those are the ones that kind of just stick out the most, the relationships, the people in the clubhouse, teammates, just being there, traveling, day in and day out. That's what you remember most at the end of the day.
I know a lot of people don't necessarily want to think about legacy, but how do you want your career to be remembered?
Hopefully people noticed that I was somebody that went out there and tried not to make excuses and just figure out how to get it done, and was just putting in a good effort day in, day out.
When you were finally called up to the majors, I think 2004, you played for 4 different teams. Were you kind of wondering, is this how it's going to be, or were you just happy to be in the majors?
Yeah, I wasn't even supposed to be there, so I was definitely happy. I was only 2.5 years removed from signing out of junior college, so my experience was limited. I definitely knew and realized I needed development, and part of those seasons in the minors I was even injured, so I didn't have the most development in the minors at that time, which is why I had to go back for a little bit. But yeah, I wasn't going to complain about being in the big league setup.
Even though it was 4 different teams, that was okay, I guess, right?
Well, that was kind of out of my hand, right? I got Rule 5, and then the team that had Rule 5 me tried to send me back to the Pirates, and there was a few other teams that were like, well, maybe let's take a chance. Now that I understand the rules of baseball and roster construction, some teams were just using kind of like that rotating roster spot. Looked at me as a utility player because they had some of their starters injured, and as those guys were coming back, then it was kind of like, let's let them go back kind of thing. So that's kind of how it went.
And you're also now a part owner, or a chief owner of Las Vegas Football Club soccer team. How's that been so far? You've been creating the roster for them?
No, I have smarter people than me to do that. It's been great, huge learning experience. I'm enjoying it a lot. And being part of professional sports and as a business is something that I've always had a desire to do. And this is the first step, and it's been a good one so far.
Good luck in tonight's game.
Thank you. Yeah, tonight. I'll miss it. I'll be watching on my phone during dinner.
Do you ever reflect on how impactful you are to baseball? I'm sure